What 5 nature journaling supplies would you take to a tropical island? Hopefully you've watched some of my interviews with other nature journalers and artists, and you've probably heard the question that I like to ask people: what 5 nature journaling supplies would you take to a tropical island? If all your survival needs were taken care of, what are the 5 art supplies or nature journaling supplies that you would take? Post in the comments down below what 5 things you would take. But right now, I'm about to show you the 5 things that I took with me. Item number 1 for me is actually going to be my nature journal bag. Having a bag that holds all your stuff together in an organized way, but still allows you to scramble on rocks, is going to be really helpful on that tropical island. So I really like a shoulder bag. This is one by Patagonia. It's discontinued, unfortunately. Maybe I can convince them to remake it one day. It has a great place for my dorky hat, which is super functional. I'm just calling it dorky because my ex didn't like it, but it's very practical, and look how easy it is to slide it in here into this pocket. Put that on. I can hold my sunglasses inside of this hat. Ex didn't like those either, but holds lots of stuff that's accessible from the outside, has a water bottle pocket, and has a perfect size for my item number 2, which I'll tell you about in a second. After my shoulder bag for carrying my supplies, my sketchbook is my number 1 thing I'd bring to a tropical island. I use the Stillman & Byrne Alpha Series 9 by 12 inch spiral bound sketchbook. It has 150 GSM paper, 50 pages worth, and I like it for a variety of reasons. It works great for nature journaling sitting down, but because of the hardcover and the spiral bound, it also works great for nature journaling standing up. So that means that on a tropical island, I can walk around and sketch while standing. You can see that even though it's 150 GSM and a medium grain surface, it works fine for some pretty serious watercolor, but it also works great for note-taking, drawing, botanical type illustrations. Paper is not so heavy that you're afraid to use it, but it's heavy enough to hold up to some pretty decent watercolor. So I think that's the perfect balance. That would work great for me on a tropical island. That medium grain surface is a good balance. Because it's spiral bound, it makes it easier for it to fold out completely open, which helps when nature journaling standing up, and it just helps you in the field quite a bit. Those are some of the things that make this my number 2 choice of nature journaling supply to always have with me. And of course, a journal would not be very useful without a pen. I use a variety of these Japanese brush pens. They have a variation of a felt tip that gives a lot of line variation. Currently, I'm using a Tombow Fudenosuke, but there's a variety of different ones, and you can see that I can get a lot of black, but I can also get very fine lines. This one pen works for drawing, it works for coloring in large black areas, and it also works fine for writing. So because of that, this is the pen that I would want to bring with me if I was going to be stuck on a desert island. This particular brand is Tombow, but there are good ones from Zebra as well, and I used to really like this one from Pentel, but it's no longer being produced. It would be a terrible shame to be stuck on a beautiful tropical island with no colors. So my number 4 item is my John Muir Laws watercolor palette. This is the main watercolor palette that I have used for the last 10 years. This palette has 32 colors and lots of mixing areas, but it is still a lot more portable and functional in the field than smaller pallets. I would rather have this than an Altoids can. It works a lot better even if you don't have that much space. It has mixing area for gouache, and I've done a few modifications for it, but for the most part it comes just great directly from John Muir Laws, so I highly recommend it. Great for the field, great for nature journaling, and for the studio as well. Unless I make a paintbrush out of coconuts, I am going to need a water brush for my palette, and I would definitely bring one of these to a tropical island. In fact, I did. It's a Pentel water brush. I use the size large. These brushes are amazing. If you've never used one before, I highly recommend it. I probably shouldn't waste all my fresh water squeezing it out like this, but you get the idea. You can learn more about how to use them in this video here. Those are the 5 items that I would bring with me if I could only bring 5 nature journaling items to a tropical deserted island. What items would you bring? Put them down below, because now I'm going to show you if I had some extra supplies that weren't necessarily nature journaling but were very, very helpful. I'm going to show you what those ones are right now. First extra supply would be this waterproof backpack. It was really helpful for getting to this island, and I can put my regular nature journaling kit and most of my nature journaling supplies in here. It has a waist strap and chest strap, so it's actually pretty comfortable as a regular backpack. This is my favorite for hiding my nature journaling stuff in case it starts raining. Next would be this hat. I showed it before. It's really great, wide brim. It can withstand the wind, it has a secret pocket, and it folds up. Very important. Next would be my stainless steel water bottle. This helps me not waste plastic bottles, and when on a deserted island have to stay hydrated. You can also use it as self-defense in case you run into any dangerous animals on that island. Number 4, my close focus binoculars. These Pentax Papilio binoculars go with me almost everywhere. They are ultra close focus, so you can look at things close up, but they do work for looking at things far away, like seeing when the boat is coming to pick me up again. I can look at plants, I can look at animals. They're not too expensive, so I'm less worried about breaking them, and they aren't so heavy that they hurt my neck. Really great for drawing and nature journaling in general. The only other optics that I like to bring with me are this clip-on macro lens for my iPhone. It works really great for bugs and flowers to get a good photo. Item number 6 is a headlamp. It's a great thing to travel with, whether you're on a remote tropical island or not. Get one that has a variation of brightness or has a red light option. Item number 7 that I would bring would be a Write in the Rain waterproof paper sketchbook. I use the one that has blank pages. You can get lined pages or grid pages or even bullet journal pages. These are a really great option if you want to do work somewhere where you might get wet or dirty. I really like to use Prismacolor ebony pencils with this type of paper. I also use Posca paint pens and Sharpies. You can use colored pencils as well, but you can't use watercolor or any wet media. Last but not least is my Joey travel chair. It fits up into a small package that I can clip right onto the waistband of my shorts as I'm doing here. You can hike with it, you can put it in your backpack, and when it folds out, it's a super comfy chair. It's pretty easy to set up, and it can go anywhere. I've used it in sand, I've used it in bogs with super soft soil, I've taken it down the Colorado River on sand dunes, and right here you can see I'm setting it up on some seaside boulders. So this is an amazing chair. I'm sitting in it right now as I edit this video, even though I'm in a hotel room, so it works everywhere. It's super comfortable, and I would definitely take it with me if I'm doing longer periods of nature journaling. If I am doing landscape painting, it's great for all of those things, plus relaxing. Most people are not going to be nature journaling on a tropical island by themselves, but this thought experiment is a good way to help you think about what is essential in your nature journaling kit
and what is extra or fluff. You can learn more about some of these supplies in the links down below. If you already shop on Amazon.com, you can use those. If not, you can look for them elsewhere. I get a small commission if you buy using those links. You can check out my Amazon shopping list for a lot of the supplies mentioned here, and links to the ones that aren't on Amazon as well. If you want to get more tips and become part of the community, check out my Patreon.com, Marley Peifer at Patreon.com. Bye.